We are only 3 days removed from the final deadline date for entry into the transfer portal. Then obviously schools will be in contact with players and decisions will be made post spring practice. Everybody's in the same situation. They're getting an evaluation of where they stand on the depth chart and that sort of thing. So if you could target a couple positions, where do you think that they would be going in the transfer portal if there's any additions made?
Coming into this whole thing, Cristobal, obviously former offensive lineman as a player and as a coach, but he's always mentioned in the trenches. Look, they've got to be better on the offensive line and the defensive line. So I think those two positions, they'll continue to look at it if they can get guys there. And there was one thing that Mario said during spring practice that really stood out to me was just that he feels like they've got to get bigger and stronger. They've got to get bigger players in general. And I think that's what you'll look at. Like, looking at linebacker, I keep bringing that up because that is certainly a key point for this team to get better. They've got to be better and they've got to get bigger at that position. So I think if you're looking at a position, I think that they'll still try to get linebackers if they can, guys that are proven, experienced, but also that bigger, stronger kind of feel. And I think that that's what they've done on the defensive line is if you look at the guys they're bringing in, they're bigger. They're simply put, they're just bigger players. And I think that you'll look at different positions. I think they'll continue to look on the offensive line if they can add a guy there and linebacker. But I think, there was a common thread that they're pleasantly surprised in the secondary with the play there. And then also, if you look on the offensive side of the ball, they've got a couple running backs coming back from injury. They bring in a guy in Henry Parrish from Ole Miss. They feel good about quarterback position. They feel good about at wide receiver. Obviously did not play well in the spring game, but they bring Frank Ladson in. Once again, the same theme that we've talked about, just a bigger player, a wide receiver. I think if they could get bigger at wide receiver, they certainly like to do that, or a bigger playmaker, because there's a lot of guys that just didn't elevate their game to the coaching staff, where if I was a coach looking at it, how good or how comfortable do I feel knowing what I know about these receivers coming out of spring ball? So I think this is a staff that will continue to look for upgrades in the transfer portal, particularly at those positions, but particularly if they can get bigger at certain spots.